north-south energy imbalance is fundamental for the circulation of the atmosphere. What is the demand of the question? Yes.
Pressure difference will be created by temperature difference.
With temperature difference, and the temperature is difference. That's what we call energy imbalance, north-south energy imbalance. North-south energy imbalance, I hope all of you know that it is not associated with northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. It is associated with hemispherical variation in the insolation, right? Highest insolation is received at subtropics. Good. So highest amount of insolation, all of you are having geography option and you don't know it. Highest amount of insolation is received at pole on any given day. Right? Now the intensity of, the moment you call about energy imbalance, that is associated with intensity of insolation. That is net radiation. When we talk about net radiation, then we are talking about energy imbalance rather than simply insolation. Net radiation is positive and negative over a period of time in a particular region. Why net radiation is negative in polar region even during the 6 months it is receiving light is because of highest possible albedo, right? 80%, 85% of what it receives ultimately reflects it back. So that's why polar region do not have a net radiation positive balance even when it is receiving, experiencing 24 hours a day, right? So first you need to understand that aspect. We are talking about net radiation rather than simply insolation. Here the more important term is atmospheric circulation rather than energy imbalance. So you should start highlighting atmospheric circulation and what is the role of energy imbalance into it, right? So first again begin with atmospheric circulation. Don't need to try to define it because that will be very general. The objectivity will be less. Atmospheric circulation, fundamental for horizontal transfer of energy, heat balance and associated weather phenomena. Almost all the weather phenomena in the planetary boundary layer or the close to the Earth's surface is directly associated with the atmospheric circulation, right? Which in turn is guided by pressure gradient force, right? Atmospheric circulation is basically affected by pressure system, pressure gradient force. Now all of you have talked only about wind. None of you have talked about air current. The moment atmospheric circulation is there, it's a combination of wind and air current. If you mention that, that is how you are different from general studies writer as an optional, because wind and air current is different. Vertical movement of air is air current. Horizontal movement of air is wind, right? So the moment you talk about atmospheric circulation, it is a combination of horizontal as well as vertical, right? Convective current and subsiding current. So you talk about wind and air current. Is fundamentally driven by the pressure gradient force. Now pressure gradient force is associated with the pressure system of high and low pressure areas. Now, some of you have written pressure is directly proportional to temperature. Do you remember your statement? Is it directly proportional? You can, at best, you can write pressure is directly related with temperature, not directly proportional, right? So pressure is directly related with temperature. Pressure system is directly related with temperature variation. This is a kind of mathematical equation that a plus b square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Prove it. So you start with a plus b square, break it, and at the end you say that it is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So temperature variation. Now temperature variation is associated with net radiation. When you talk about over a period of time, temperature variation is a function of net radiation in an area. Now you talk about the north-south energy imbalance. Is very fundamental, in generating the variation in net radiation. Present a diagram. It's very popular about net radiation. That one, everywhere it is given. Generally 40° north to 40° south, and that is net radiation is positive, net radiation is negative. That's what you call energy surplus area, energy deficit area. Average temperature of Earth 15 degrees Celsius. Now here you start. The imbalance in net radiation is the guiding principle behind the atmospheric circulation. Net radiation at global level produces primary circulation. Atmospheric circulation, you all know there are three types of circulation: primary, secondary and tertiary. We talk about different type of net radiation imbalance and the type of circulation. Global scale imbalance in net radiation produces primary circulation. Don't go into detail of this primary circulation, just give that diagram of equatorial region, Hadley cell. It's roughly a diagram. Three cell. Generally, the most observed is the tricellular model. However, the role of Coriolis force is equally important. Since you are supposed to talk about north-south energy imbalance, you don't need to go into the detail, just give a passing reference about the Coriolis force here. Now, regional level energy imbalance which are mostly seasonal in nature produces secondary circulation. Give example, the best example of that is monsoon, where the shifting of ITCZ associated with huge temperature, very high temperature in the Indian subcontinent produces monsoon. Secondary circulation, monsoon, associated, you talk just one line, half a line, few words about the shifting of ITCZ and formation of monsoon. However, again here I talk about that is not only the energy imbalance, but also the role of land-water contrast and the position of Indian subcontinent is equally important. It is about fundamental. The question is about north-south energy imbalance is fundamental. It's not saying that it is the complete, it is the only reason. It is fundamental. To talk about what are the other smaller factors which are associated with this fundamental also, but in a very, very brief, take least possible number of words to explain that. Then local level circulation, local level variation produces tertiary circulation, which are popularly known as local winds as well. Give best example is land and sea breeze, mountain and valley breeze. And name few of the prominent local winds. इसमें कहीं से नहीं है. It's about north-south energy imbalance, basically associated with atmospheric circulation. So we have three types of atmospheric circulation. If you are talking about primary atmospheric circulation, it is purely related with north-south energy imbalance. But secondary also is associated with north-south in the sense. In one sense, it is about energy imbalance. The term is north-south, but there is energy imbalance also. So you highlight the variation in the role of energy imbalance or north-south energy imbalance in different type of atmospheric circulation. We are primarily talking about the north-south energy imbalance. So you give too much emphasis on the primary circulation. Then talk a little about the secondary circulation and the role of that. That's why there will be talking about the land-water contrast. In tertiary circulation, it is the local contrast. That is again energy imbalance, which has nothing to do with pure north-south, but energy imbalance is there. In the case of that, even north-south is not responsible for the whole atmospheric circulation. Coriolis force is equally important. North-south energy imbalance is fundamentally associated with the thermally induced pressure belts. But all dynamically induced pressure belts are 4 in numbers. But if you look at the guiding principle, if north-south energy imbalance is not there, the thermally induced pressure belt will not be created. If thermally induced pressure belts are not created, then dynamically induced pressure belt will not be created. So there is role of Coriolis force also. But fundamentally, the beginning of the atmospheric circulation is associated with north-south energy imbalance. Just imagine if the global air circulation is not there, how can you expect a monsoon? Can you expect? If global atmospheric circulation, if southeast trade wind is not there, can you expect southwest monsoon? No. So it is indirectly related with north-south energy imbalance. Only the tertiary circulation you talk about, it is nothing to do with north-south, but just a passing reference will definitely give you an edge. Then complete your answer by concluding, bring global warming and its impact on atmospheric circulation. Just a second. The impact of global warming over atmospheric circulation is not very well understood. Yet it is obvious that it is going to have its impact over it, and then you can conclude as per your way of style of writing whether you should get prepared or we should do some research work to reduce the impact, negative possible impact. We should try to improve our understanding about the atmospheric circulation and the consequences associated with it. Finish your answer.